That's right here on CCTV. And CCTV what? That's right, brotherra.com. And here, let me show you real quick. You can, for those that don't know, you can actually watch the show on the internet, cctvcambridge.org. And you can go to the website, actually see somewhere here on the website, you can see, hit channel 9 and I will come up. You see that? Pay attention. I won't do that now because we'll have feedback. But that's Brother R.A. on cctvcambridge.org. And this is also Brother R.A. And to find out back shows, you can actually hit YouTube. YouTube will bring up past shows that I've entered. See right there? Okay, let's put this on pause because I don't want to hear. That's not today's show. Okay, but see, that's right. You can look at Brother R.A. there. And, okay, that's enough head stuff about brotherra.com. Let's just go to Brother R.A. There I am. Hey! And now we're going to go ahead and pick up where we left off from last week. Oh, there's just so much that's happening in life. And, here, let's bring it in a little tighter and show you. These were the DVDs that I've been watching. Oh, the 60s. Oh my God, that was so sentimental and was gut-wrenching for me. This 60s DVD, yeah, just because it was about me growing up and what I used to watch on TV, it just really dealt with me. And then, For Your Eyes Only, James Bond, 007, yup, that was good. Oh, and Margin Call, I seen that with my lady friend too. We liked that, didn't we? Margin Call, dealing with the stock market. And, corporation went out of business. And what are we talking about? And actually, what is here? Steve Jobs. I got 3 DVDs of Steve Jobs. Ashton Kutcher was in one, and Steve, I don't think he played himself, but he revealed himself. But he showed how much of an ass. I mean, he really revealed he was a white corporate American asshole. And I think this is very interesting, this genre of DVDs that I'm dealing with as I'm sharing with you Steve Coakley, brother who transitioned in April of 2012, and he's naming the names of those who fund and promote white supremacy. White supremacy. Does it still exist? I mean, we got Margin Call, Steve Jobs, and I'll let you make your own decision. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and shut my mouth and get you back to where we left off from last week. So, I went back a little bit in time on the DVD for you to be able to see and hear everything. And I'm just going to bring it up for you and shut up. And y'all get the rest of the show listening to Steve Coakley. And that was my introduction for today's show. And today's date is the 28th of June. Yeah, so naming the names of those who fund and promote white supremacy, Steve Coakley, the 28th of June. Let's make this view full screen and then hit play. I'm hitting play. Now, why are you going to dilly-dally and act stupid for me? Let's try one more time. Oh, maybe if I hit that.
Let's see here. through generations, the most influential of senior societies at Yale College has been seen by outsiders as the hand that quietly, also quietly, guides the nation's foreign policy, intelligence apparatus, premier banking houses, with a formidable presence at the bar and on the bench. Check. If Bonesmen say anything at all, they portray their association as a venerable fraternity whose rituals instill honorable and selfless values in youthful initiates and forge intimate bonds of friendship that last a lifetime. But their cloak of secrecy suggests something considerably more Kabbalistic. Now that word, as you understand that leads you into something called the Kabbalah, which means that the secret society, New York Times, for which this story appeared November 4th, 88, did not arbitrarily use that name. That name was used for those who understand it. And then that's when you get into the ritual of Skull and Bones, which has something to do with the Knights of Templar, which it leads you towards some word some people use called Illuminati. I don't use that word, I use Rhodes Rothschild, because I want to leave you with traceable evidence. Now, but this is a murder investigation, and we're building a case. You're the grand jury, and I'm one of the prosecutors. Check. So you're right. Here is a discussion. Oh, okay. Here's his description of the skull from the Dictionary of Symbols. A great many forms of superstition, ritual, and indeed of cannibalism. Bees, man, we talked earlier, bees, eating, dog, cats, wife, anything, hungry, no mangoes, no bananas, all right, skull, all right, we'll check.
No mangoes.
Not now, later. This is an article that appeared on Skull and Bones. That's one of the good ones. Esquire magazine, September 1977. And it talks about the ritual of Skull and Bones, where they lay naked in a pile of mud and wrestle each other in the mud naked. Yeah, that's like the birth of the white man. You're in a cave, it's muddy. You know, your first bath was a mud pie. Yeah, check. Huh? They lay naked in a coffin, tell lewd sex stories about themselves. Each person that goes over when they're initiated gets a $15,000 cash award and a grandfather clock set at 8 o'clock. It's coded, it has meaning, we must decodify that. And so there are things to it, but when they lay those skulls out there is when they let the initiate know that you can do anything in this life. Also, this is an article appeared on the front page of the Washington Post. Now, interestingly enough, these articles that I'm showing you, this is Washington Post, April 16, 1991, when they were arguing over women should be in Skull and Bones. Because here the guys wrestling in the mud, they doing the gay thing, and now they got to wrestle women, mess it all up. You with me? You understand? This was a big fight. They went to court, they closed the clubhouse, this was a big argument. Anyway. And this article here is from Newsweek, August 20th, 1990. The Code of the Wasp Warrior, meaning that those Yale Skull and Bones guys like to fight, to start wars, to prove their manliness. It says, a rich white boy understands growing up, life at a boarding schools. Bees can't raise their children, so they send them to other people to raise them. Check.
Any thoughts about that?
Experience. Boarding school are mammy. They might eat their children or something, so they get them out of their face. Hey, the Jeffrey Dahmer shit, now don't be fucking around now. That Hannibal Lecter shit wasn't Silence of the Lambs. They gonna be eating your ass when they get hungry. That Solvent Green shit. You seen this shit on TV. Check, yeah, that's right, get up. You be thinking about this shit later. You say, I thought Coakley has some crazy shit, but you know. And it just says they have a warrior ethic, part of their good breeding. And that Bush got his love for war from Henry Stimson, who was Secretary of War, who had initiated him, and they deal with the virtues of loyalty and male bonding and all this other shit while they beat up people and take their countries. This was right before the war in the Persian Gulf War. Right. Some of this dialogue about the skull and bones. Now, that's interesting that all those Washington Post, Newsweek, Esquire magazine are all Jewish publications. Now, the reason those are Jewish stories is that there are few, if any, Jews-ish people. I call them Jewish, not Jews. They are like a Jew. Jewish. They are like a Jew. See, there's a whole lot of people trying to pretend to be you. The Masons want to be you. The Jewish people want to be you. Everybody want to be the chosen you, but you. You the ones too busy to stand up and claim yourself.
What's wrong with you black people?
You know, some RuPaul, some shit like that. Y'all gone and ain't coming back? Y'all gone and ain't coming back? You gotta go? Okay, well this is what I need to do. I need to put a little basket at the door for Brother Coakley so the people that love Brother Coakley can make a little donation in case they gotta leave early. See, I talk fast and get all the money. Now I like to try to finish what I'm saying, so I end up losing money. So y'all don't make me feel like I gotta talk fast and shit. Okay, that's okay now. I gotta separate these donations now. That's whose donation box is that? Mine or y'all? I just want to make sure which one is which. So you gonna get yours. You gonna get yours. Which one is that? Is that mine or yours? That's mine. Okay, then give me the bag back. What's in there? Give me the bag. Those are my raffle tickets, and usually I have a raffle for people who could get videos for just $1. But because I'm by myself, I didn't have a chance to sell the raffle tickets. But at the end, we might want to do this, but that's another dialogue. People go home with a video for $1, and you'd be surprised as I go around the country how they call me as they've gone through the video for $1, and 20, 30 other people then seen it, 40 people then copied it, and everybody's all excited, and it only was $1, right? So they called me, they said, brother, man, this is the most influential dollar I ever spent. And so there's a little thing to who gets it for $1 and what we asked them to do because they got it to help everybody else.
I'm still influenced by Steve Coakley in 2017, even though he transitioned.
Anyway, so those are Jewish stories because there aren't many Jewish people in Skull and Bones, so they always attacked it. George Bush always had a fight with Jewish people. He wouldn't give up the loans, the $10 billion thing, the big arguments, and the Jewish people kicked his ass and ran him out of the presidency. I want you to understand clearly about the fight that went on between John Sununu, who was the only governor who refused to say that Zionism was not racism. He's Lebanese. He was the only one. And they removed him from chief of staff from the White House when he stopped letting Jewish people in when they wanted to. See, I work for a mayor. There's certain people who think anytime they want to, they can walk in on someone who they respect less. And I had a fight. There's a book on Harold Washington written by a guy named Alton Miller. And one day, he wanted to go in and see the mayor, and I told him he couldn't go in. I stand at the door, right? Let the people in and out. So I said he could go in. He said, well, I went in when Washington was mayor. I said, you're not going in that door. So he grabbed the handle, and I popped his ass, right? And in the book, he says, on page 353, that Steve Coakley's besticism to the mayor is the only person in the history of my years in politics that I had a Scrabble with. And he says, Scrabble, I hit him right in his eye. Right in front of a bunch of people. And me, I'm standing there, bow tie, suit him up. Boom, boom, and why going? But anyway, I don't need to tell you about that. But the only point is, in the real world, people test the authority you claim you have. And sometimes you can be right, but won't force your way. So you must have the right and the might. They go simultaneously. The best evidence is one thing, but the power to enforce it is the insurance. All right. Here's a Jewish magazine, Covert Action. They did a Skull and Bones story too. Says that within CIA, there are divisions that are made up of Skull and Bones people. In other words, you have the secrecy of the CIA, but then you take another team and develop that as double secrecy. You with me? So you have a circle within a circle. It leads to better protection. Homosexuality and other things that they hold on each other in secret are the power that seal these things together so nobody's telling. It should be a lot more people telling than are, but they're scared. And many of them pledge to believe in a God that they don't ever believe will protect their ass when they tell on the white man. So God is tough, but he can't kick the white man's ass. So the white man get the ultimate thing, and God come when it can get away with it, right? The so-called God for them. I just want the people that believe in it to stand up for the shit. Get this book, The Wise Men. It talks about different guys who work for the rich people. Skull and Bones is an operator's secret society, meaning these are not the people, these are the people who work for the people. When you go over in Skull and Bones, you're a knight. The knight served the king. Robert Lovett, John McCloy, chairman of the Council on Foreign Relations, the Ford Foundation, and Chase Manhattan Bank at the time they killed Malcolm X. He was very significantly involved in the death of Malcolm X, but none of the lovers of Malcolm can relate John McCloy and his work for the Rockefeller family to his attack on Malcolm X. Because the meeting that decided to kill Malcolm was at the Ford Foundation, and it's on page 418 of the autobiography. That's the day Alex Haley sold him out. This is talking about when you get tapped, the process of being initiated. Who was that up here said they was in a sorority? You in a sorority? Sister, stand up a second.
Tina.
You greet each other? You have a secret greeting?
I don't know it though, I forgot it. It's been so long.
That's my sister. She forgot in 92. I ain't messing with you, Tina.
See, I got a tape over here talking about the attack on Marcus Garvey and the secret societies, and Dick Gregory came to the lecture. And I was asking Dick Gregory in the lecture about the boule, and he said, no, I don't know nothing about that. Now, Dick is the type of guy, you say some shit he don't know, he said, well, give me something on that. That's the logical thing. Well, let me look at it, you know? Well, Dick didn't say that. So the next day I went to eat, and he was in the same hotel I was at, and we were eating, and I said, Dick, I got to talk to you. He said, what's up, Bud Copeland? I said, now, when I asked you about the boule, you really went to no contende on me. He said, well, I'm an alpha. And you need to understand when you bust on this boule about the codes that make the initiates afraid to reveal the secrets. Because if you can't unlock that, you'll never get them to fight the white man that you're after. Because they've been pledged never to. And they can't break it because they fear the other members. Brother Coakley is the type of brother who you never want to not be connected to at all moments. You would never not want to be with Brother Coakley. So you would never let no Greek shit separate you from the brother. Especially if the brother and his brothers like him and sisters come in power. So you're right, so you hedge that bet. I always tell him if the shit come and we win and you never came over. Hey, shit, you know it's a hedge your bet. I believe in our horse. For sure you're right. Now I don't know what you believe in, but I believe in what we come in with. I believe it has a right to succeed. I believe if we don't make it happen, it will never happen. And I believe you should always live your life in preparation for the privilege of doing battle against the enemy. It's one of the more honorable things you could do in life. Sure. We have no position called freedom fighter in our community. Sure. But there should be millions of them in consideration of how much we lack it. Sure. But they are emerging. They are preparing. It may not be to the last moments that you know how many people you really got who are going to fight for you. But let us understand, let it be when we reach the 3/4 pole and the guy says, here the horses come spinning out of the turn. And we're on that final stretch that you start kicking ass because we can just kind of lay on the rail, hang second or third until that finish line because we want to win. We do not want to be winning or in the lead. We want to win. So win is a decisive moment. It might just take 6 days to do it. But everything has to be set up. Everything has to be pre-positioned. The people have to be on the edge of their seats. All right, you know it's that thing that first rap song. What does that thing go? Yes.
Like a jungle sometimes makes me wonder how I keep from going under. Don't push me, I'm too close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head.
And now, the hottest song out now is Ice Cube taking the same song, calling it,
You better check yourself.
you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check. See, it's laying there. You might not know the code, but when somebody starts saying check, don't think they're out there and everybody ain't privately meeting. So I said, we're recodifying ourselves right in front of them. That go down Moses meant be my ass down to the river. Check? All right. Anyway, this Professor Anthony Sutton that wrote the book, America's Secret Establishment. You should get that book on Skull and Bones called America's Secret Establishment, an introduction into the order of Skull and Bones by a Stanford professor called Anthony Sutton. Because he's Stanford, he's a good white source. Sister will soon Sister will soon have that book available so that you can get it here. But he talks about how the circles within a circles are inner cores, outer cores, but he looks at different groups and institutions and where they fit in the scheme of the circles. CFR, Trilateral, Bilderberger, Outer Circle, Association of Helpers. He considers the order on an inner circle or deeper penetration. Everybody works with a model trying to describe the layers of order for the enemy's. It's like saying, well, you got 2 guards, 2 tackles. You're trying to describe their formation. And you knowing by their tendencies and formation which way the play liable to go. All right. Anyway, we'll go on past there. And it says, well, what has the order penetrated? And he's talking about skull and bones. What has it penetrated? The White House, law, education, media, publishing, business, industry, commerce, churches, banking, Federal Reserve, foundations, think tanks, policy groups, legislatures, and political parties. So in essence, you understand that skull and bones for which the black man patterned his secret society after was emulated because of their penetration of American society. All right, check? Now, these black men who chose to be in the boule, emulating skull and bones, did it based upon their symbolism. When we first ran into the Black Secret Society, which is called the boule, that's their logo. That's their logo. It's called a Grecian Sphinx. Ain't that some shit? Grecian Sphinx. It's like a Russian African. Some shit like that, you know? So you're right. Put that white supremacy out of me. Anytime I talk and do a good job, it just comes right out. Their acronym is Sigma Pi Phi. You see the tail is in the shape of an S, a sigma. Wings, white woman face, Vox. Right paw up, 360-degree wheel of knowledge inside with the circle within a circle. Sigma Pi Phi. We'll talk a little bit about that, but when we first ran up to that logo, we thought it was a griffin. See, we didn't know by its constitution what it was, so we started the process of researching it. On the tape, Behold a Pale Horse, you will hear us right in that meeting. A brother comes out with the Constitution of the Boule, which he had just stolen off a professor at San Diego State, drove 2 hours to LA, bust in on the Coakley meeting, holds the Constitution up proudly, while another group was presenting their information on the Griffin. And you will hear in the tapes, the first day we ever found the Boule story, the Council on Foreign Relations, 2-part tape. You will hear in the tapes the unfolding of how we actually kept building. Every tape is a progressive penetration of the enemy. My dialogue on the Boule 2 years ago is as good as the next year, which goes deeper, which this year goes deeper than that. This is an ever-evolving penetration of the core of negativity. We are constantly growing. Growth is the only evidence of life. All right.
Are we still growing? Are we bogarting? Are we gathering knowledge? Are we still inquiring in 2017? Are we still pledging as Black Greeks to a Grecian Sphinx? Or being a Russian African? Or are we getting rooted, grounded, and settled in ourselves and reaching who we are as divine energies? There doesn't have to be so much separation, but looking at the system, skull and bones, Grecian Sphinx, black fraternities emulating white fraternities and sororities? I'm just asking a question. Here, let me shut up, get back to Steve, and all I can say is think. It's not illegal yet.
Right. When we saw that word, the Griffin, we then started the process of decodifying it, understanding that Griffin was a protector. So you look up Griffin in the dictionary of symbols, and you can readily see about a fabulous animal, the front half of which is like an eagle, the rear half like a lion with a long serpentine tail. The blending of these two superior soul animals points to the generality, beneficial character of this being. It was considered by the Greeks to Apollo and Nemesis. The griffin, like certain kinds of dragon, is always found as the guardian of the roads to salvation, standing beside the tree of life or some such symbol. Interestingly enough, it says in medieval Christian art, the griffin is very commonly being associated with signs which tend towards ambivalence, representing, for instance, both the Savior and Antichrist. And usually you know the enemy because he says two things at one time. You'll hear Jesse Jackson say, "I've never really been to a Council on Foreign Relations meeting, but I spoke at some." When you walk up on a spy and you busted them, they tell you two diametrically opposed things at the same time. You must understand this by strategy, because what you're supposed to do is you get confused. You go, how could he be that and be that? And then you pause and you hesitate. And it's your hesitation that all they need to do is to get past you. You understand? That if you don't do one or the other, just stand still, that's just enough for them to get by. But they go two opposite directions and leave you in the middle. And many of the leadership talks two-sided. Many of the believers talk two-sided. All right? Now, let's go forward quickly. When you look up Griffin in the dictionary, because it's very interesting, you look up the word Griffin. This is Webster's. Uh-oh. Come on, bring your ass back up here, Webster.
92, we're using an overhead projector.
Now, let me go back here. I hope I got around. I want to lift it higher, but it might fall. The griffin, a fabulous animal, typically having a head, four-parted wings like those of an eagle, but with visible, whatever that word is, erect ears, four legs like the legs of an eagle, and the body, hind legs, and tail like that of a lion, blah, blah, blah. Second definition, griffin, origin unknown. Just like Romulus and Remus here, lacking background or family. A white person new to the east. One recently come from the Occident. Look at this. Griffin. 3, Griffy. Griffinage. The state of being a white person recently come to the east. Griffinite. Griffin Park, Los Angeles. And if you hear from Los Angeles, you understand that the park that overlooks the city is that where you see that Hollywood going across there? Well, right up there is an observatory. Just go over a little bit. That park is Griffin Park. It overlooks Los Angeles like a gatekeeper or a protector. When you go to Cincinnati, in fact, in the tape Beast in the 666, and the controller of the buying and selling, I'm talking about Romulus and Remus. Anybody here from Cincinnati? Anybody here from Cincinnati? In Eden Park, Cincinnati got 7 hills. In Eden Park, or the birthplace, is a statue of Romulus and Remus giving honor to the birth of white civilization as a gift from the mayor of Rome, Italy, to the city of Cincinnatus, who is laid after Roman Cincinnatus. And all of the symbolism is laid all over the town. They have 33 stations of civilization. Walk you around Sawyer Park, and it has 2 snakes with an egg in their mouth because you got to follow the mound-building Indians who laid different things all around that area. All these cities and the streets to the cities and the names of the cities all reflect symbolism that is coded by the Masons who laid the blueprints.
Anyone pay attention to
Which is the
symbolism
strategy
today?
by which all buildings are built.
Anyone understand
Now,
the connotations?
You go to the Sphinx, a fabulous being composed of several parts, the Sphinx at Thebes had a head and breast of a woman, the body of a bull or a dog, the claws of a lion, the tail of a dragon, the wings of a bird, being the supreme embodiment of a Grecian Sphinx. An urn with the Greek letters sigma pi phi inscribed beneath, and which may be appropriately adorned with jewels. The title of the pen is vested in the Grand Boule. Anyway, You can see upon the death of an archon, which is what you are when you go over an archon, A-R-C-H-O-N, that word is used in the Bible a lot. The pen shall be left in the custody of his widow to be buried or cremated with him. So the pen, which is a very significant thing, has a meaning. You know, like when you ask a Boule member about the pen, like there was a doctor from South Carolina, you'll hear it in a special message to the Boule tape. He says, oh, I don't know what the logo means. Right, well, God, that's you see, you hear it so many times, you don't get confused when you hear it. You don't ever forget these things. You are pledged in a loyal oath. You know not to accidentally remember this shit. Anyway. Now, listen up. Hey, listen, you'll decide who you want to pressure. You look up in the dictionary of symbols.
Okay, I guess that disc is done. Yes, let's make sure it's all done and eject, and then we shall slide in the new disc. Here, let's take this part off and put me on, and eject this, and put this one in. Hopefully there'll be a smooth segue. That was disc 1, and this is disc 2, and hopefully there's some overlap to pick up where the scratch was on the disc. Did you acknowledge that scratch on the disc? So yes, I'm definitely uploading this to YouTube. Putting this information on the internet from my VHS tapes. That's what this was originally shot in.
Iman, who we talked about earlier, wanted proof of subversion.
Oh, hold on, let's go back a little bit. Let's see. We didn't get that far. We wish to. Okay, the Grecian Sphinx. Did we get that far? Hold on, I'm looking for something. Oh, y'all can't even see. I'm up here talking snot. These are all the Greek lettered fraternities and sororities. Are you one of those? Is one of them you? Okay, I think we haven't seen this footage, so let's go back.
Championship. He hit 340, he'd be the champion hitter. That's only 3 out of 10. This hit 21 out of 24. Right? It also says, and see, this is an interesting piece too. I think it's one of the most profound parts.
Actually, I'm going to start here, because I'd rather have overlap.
The pen shall be left in the custody of his widow to be buried or cremated with him. So the pen, which is a very significant thing, has a meaning. You know, like when you ask a Boule member about the pen, like there was a doctor from South Carolina, you'll hear it in a special message to the Boule tape. He says, oh, I don't know what the logo means. Right, well, God, that's usually, see, you hear it so many times, you don't get confused when you hear it. You don't ever forget these things. You are pledged in a loyal oath. You know not to accidentally remember this shit. Anyway. Now, listen up. Hey, listen, you'll decide who you want to pressure. You look up in the dictionary of symbols, there was even a Grecian Sphinx. There's the face of the woman and the breast. So now we moved up off of the griffin, which was the face of an eagle or a wolf, and now moved into the Grecian-style Sphinx, which was the face of a woman. In fact, when we looked up a book by Manly Palmer Hall, I mentioned him earlier, he wrote over 2,000 books on Masons, but another big book he wrote cost $150 in color form. It's called The Secret Teachings of All Ages. There's even a black and white version for about $45, a deep book on Masonry, white Masonry. But in the chapter called The Initiation of the Pyramid, there is a picture of the Grecian Sphinx, which, when you look at it carefully, is pretty close, as is to the symbolism of the Boule's Grecian Sphinx. Now, we're digging, trying to find, based on what they're saying about themselves, the evidence. The Egyptian Sphinx is closely related to the Greek legend of Oedipus. Now, if your shit is first, how you gonna be related to some shit come after you? But in the land of impersonation, these small word trickeries are never to be noticed by the unconscious Goyen.
Are you the unconscious Goyen? Or are you original black
Protocols
man?
of the Learned Elders of Zion, Fact or Fiction, by Brother Coakley, the only Afrocentric analysis of the protocols in the country. The protocols of the 24 of those so-called stipulations, which whites argue over whether they're real or not, I don't even give a fuck. It's like Star Wars or a movie, if it's hedged in reality, I'm concerned about its examples that compel reality. Of the 24 things that it said would happen, 21 of them have. One of the most interesting things in there, it says, we will force the term limits on legislative bodies. You just watch the country go through another wave of term limit legislation. And that was, now this document, this fraud document was allegedly found in 1905. Well, 1993, 21 or 24 of them have come true. I wouldn't give a fuck who wrote the shit.
This is coming from a cassette tape.
I'm gonna read the shit because the reliability level is greater than the best hitter in the American League Baseball Championship. He hit 340, he'd be the champion hitter. That's only 3 out of 10. This shit 21 out of 24. Right? It also says, and see, this is an interesting piece too, I think it's one of the most profound parts. It says, how will we whip the people? It says, we will rob them of personal initiative. Now that's some deep shit. The thing that makes a person go out and do the shit they were thinking about. Because we be laying back thinking somebody else got this shit covered. And the reason I'm here is that I figured out when I got with them that it wasn't. So I personally initiated some activity to fill a void. And you will do the same once you know these voids exist.
Now, has your initiation been taken from you? Are you that depressed? Do you eat a specific diet that doesn't necessarily give you the nutrients to spark a fire within you to get the fuck up and do something? I'm just asking, has what he talked about back in 93 revealing itself in 2017? Just a question. I'm going to set the fuck up and get back to you, Steve. Here we go.
Anyway. So, this is talking about Oedipus. Now, you should remember the story to Oedipus. What did he do? Killed his daddy and slept with his mother. Okay, now don't forget that. Oedipus and the Sphinx. This is from Levi's The Mysteries of the Kabbalah. Now, interestingly enough, you remember that movie with Melanie Griffin? She go to the Diamond District to investigate some murder? Stranger Among Us. Well, watch one part of the movie when they're in a library and the one Jewish guy says to the other Jewish guy, "What you reading?" And he's all over his desk like this. He looks down and then he said, "You're reading the Kabbalah. You're not supposed to read that till you're 40. Is that so?
Sure.
Is that so?
Sure.
You're not supposed to read it till you're 40? Just wanted to make sure.
Can we go to the library and get the Kabbalah?
Anyway, the point of it is they drop it in the movie. It's just a little subtle thing. You'll grab into it. Anyway, now, I hear some meetings they act up. In my meeting they fuck up, I'm going to kick their ass. Now, everybody run their thing differently, right? I don't have problems in my meeting because I'm violent.
Because I'm violent.
Now, says the Egyptian Sphinx is closely related to the Greek legend of Oedipus, who first solved the famous riddle propounded by the mysterious creature with the body of a winged lion, the head of a woman, which frequented the highway leading to Thebes, which was what? Yeah. Thebes. 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 What was that? What was it to it? Wasn't it the holy city? So that they were protecting what they thought was most important. Okay, that's all I wanted to get you to. To which each person passed her lyre, the Sphinx addressed the question. What is the animal that in the morning goes on 4 feet, at noon on 2 feet, and in the evening on 3 feet? Those who failed to answer her riddle, she destroyed. All right? It says there is another answer to the riddle of Sphinx, best revealed by consideration of the Pythagorean values of numbers, which is a thief. Pythagoras is a thief. Show you right. And it says the 4, the 2, and the 3 produce the sum of 9. Don't forget to leave Brother Copley a donation, because nobody want to sit in a free lecture and leave nothing for him, brother. I get confused. People go to college, get a white man $14,000. Brothers show up, they want to give him $1,000 for a lecture. I say, what's the difference between me and the one you say you hate? 13,000. Show you right. And not only, see, the spies come and they want to know. See, they know that Brother Copley will have to stop this if you don't support it. And there are other people willing to do it because you have shown you will not. So I don't have a problem standing up and addressing the people that want what they want for nothing and pay everybody else for what they say they don't want. So don't nobody negotiate shit with the white man. They want to negotiate my shit. You know what I mean? Everybody's busy. They got someplace to go. Dying is a consuming thing.
I'm right here. I ain't going nowhere.
Which is the natural number of man and also of the lower worlds. The 4 represents the ignorant man. Y'all leaving too? Y'all don't have no donation for Brother Steve? Thank you, sister. I appreciate you. Brothers shouldn't even have to ask. It should be evident.
Hey, check that again.
You got it. The 4 represents the ignorant man, the 2 the intellect. Sometimes it's a timing thing, right? As you get close to who it is that the Sphinx protects, a certain aura of the room must take place that insinuates disinterest.
That's cheap.
At a certain moment,
That's
you are
energy.
leading towards who
Are
the
you
fuck is
tuned in?
protected. There's a certain moment when the plant in the room must build the disinterested climate. It's a timing thing. You can't get to the edge of the shit and not want to hear the punchline. It kind of negates the front of the action. And if brother wants to get some, I'm sure one of y'all up there sell it to him. You take, I appreciate you, brother Tony. Tony, right? I appreciate you, brother. The 4 represents the ignorant man, the 2 the intellectual man, and 3 the spiritual man. Infinite humanity walks on 4 legs, evolving humanely on 2 legs, and of the power of our own mind redeems and illuminates magnets as the staff of wisdom. The Sphinx is therefore the mystery of nature, the embodiment of for the king. Now, when I thought about the Grecian Sphinx and the number 9, I thought about this. Show you right. How do the Greek thing fit? Run the tape up there, 2 brothers.
Oh my goodness. Skipping over all this damage. I need to find to get better disc, huh?
Challenge to the Greek.
Damn, I'm sorry, people. Maybe I better find another part 2 that's better with less scratches. Yeah, that's not working, is it? I'm looking.
A lot of things in it, even the ending to this lecture, because it was similar to that one. That's an interesting one up there. You'll see those titles on it. That one with my, that's a good all-around one. The one with my picture on it. See, that's it. There you go. Alpha, Kappa, Phi Beta Sigma, Omega Psi Phi, Zeta Phi Beta, aka Delta Sigma Gamma Rho. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1 make 9. The Grecian Sphinx is keyed on the number 9. There are 4 male and 4 female Greek-based fraternity and sororities, and the Boule, the granddaddy of them all, make 9. There have never been a 10th one. These were constructed by the late 1920s. There has never been a 10th because it would make it numerically insignificant. And you can, in essence, know it's like a 1, 4, and 4. The 4 male, 4 female, by the 1920s, they were over. Thank you very much, sister. Now, interestingly enough, if we all know who it is that's in control, what will happen to the sphinxes, the Grecian sphinxes? It says here, discovering one who knew the answer to her riddle, the sphinx cast herself from the cliff which bordered the road and perished. Which means that if this is a gatekeeper protecting something secret, and you, with the power of your thrust, reveal it, then the gatekeeper has no real function. They must self-destruct. So why does the boule resist the sharing of the information amongst the black people? Is because they will not get the privileges of prosperity that they've been guaranteed for never telling who the wizard is if their role is rendered impotent. So the part of dealing with the OEO, you remember in the Wizard of Oz, there was them little black things, them little monkeys with the wings?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Wow. And you remember in the Wiz with Michael Jackson and them? They all was working for Eveline. Eveline said, don't bring me no bad news. And you know they had the little black suits on with the little wings on, right? Go back and check this shit, because once they kick Eveline ass, right, they put the water on the Wicked Witch, they got past the OEO boys, now they up on Eveline, or the Boule or the Munchkins, right? And now she been flushed down the toilet. It was a cleansing process. And the people that worked for her did what? They shed the skin of the enemy, unzipped it, and did what they saying.
Can you feel a brand new day?
Can you see a brand new day? Da, 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 da. And then they picked up the people that they had been blocking off the yellow brick road and carried them as far down to the door of the wizard as they could go. On the path, you will meet people of like character. With them, you will form a bond that needs no utterance of mere words. But you as the organizer must learn how to use what a person has to offer. If it's a 60% brother, try to get 59. If it's a 90%, 90, 89, 87. Try to get what a person has to give, but everybody didn't live their life to qualify for the right to kill the wizard. Because weaker, more susceptible or vulnerable to evil people will never get the confidence, because they will forever believe they never deserve the privilege and will deny it to themselves. So 100 virgins will whip 1,000,000 whores because of the inherited right they have to call upon the forces that are greater than their own ability. When Garvey said, I'll be back in the eye of the hurricane, he understood that sometimes you will have to do things in bad weather. This shit get bad. I said, ooh, I'm worried. I said, ooh, I'm happy. This might be it. So y'all get ready. When the lights cloud and shit get real bad, might be a huge snowstorm. That's the day that the walkers beat the flyers and the drivers. Miss Daisy, weakest one on the planet, way at the top of the hill in the biggest house, never cooked her own food, grown anything, washed shit, don't even answer the telephone. You will not have a hard time kicking her ass or her husband's ass. If you can beat the OEO. It's the buff. So don't underestimate the buff. Understand that the buff, they didn't start to go get Mandela out of jail till they start burning collaborators. They never fuck with the white people. They never fuck with the white people, they fuck with the white people's buffers. And then the white man saw his fence go down, he went and cut a deal. Check. All right. Now the legend of Oedipus was what? Say that again. Murder his father and slept with his mother. Now around this country there's a trend called multicultural people or multiracial people. These are people who no longer want to be black. They want to be, if they got a piece of black, they want to be multicolor. In California, they legally fought for the right to have on a school form multicolor. In South Africa, it's coloreds. They are given privileges above those of others of the race who are full-blood. Garvey spoke about the breaking of the genes of the black race. I feel bad I'm not blacker than black. I feel raped, intervened. I wish that I couldn't look at my genes and see that a hunky had gotten in there. Now, Emerge magazine, May-June issue, Color Complexity, about the trend of the multiracial people. LA Times magazine, June 23rd, 93, The Shades of Color. Both stories were by Karen Grigsby Gates. She's from an interracial marriage, and she with others are speaking on behalf of the non-black colored people. Murder his father, brothers? Brothers. Excuse me, brothers, I expect y'all love Brother Coakley too. Sure, you're right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. 1 out of 3 ain't bad. It's the symbol of the feeling that will keep me going. I will always run out of money. The money is only ceremonial. Right, thank you, but it's in the heart. It's in the heart. Don't kill my heart. It ain't money that made us pull this off. It was our heart. And we don't want you to hurt that. Now, this trend of murdering the father, the black man, marrying the mother, the black woman, has so intensified that even one group of white people who would consider them the last white people to marry a black woman came forward with the symbolism to say, if we, the weak, genetically unable to survive the future white race, have to intermingle with the black woman to survive the upcoming ozone and other ecological advances of the forces of the Creator, then yes, I'll marry a black woman my damn self if I have to. Said, I'll marry a black woman too if I got her. That's the least likely last of the whites, the Hasidic Jew.
February 15th,
He would want to
1993.
admit he would do it, but he got, the Ashkenazi got some weak genes. He has certain rare genealogical diseases.
Inbred mutant albino.
But these weaker gene people are looking for a safe haven in sister who they will marry after they kill brother. So sister, brother might not be shit in your minds, but remember, kill the men, then the women, then the children. And if the men are gone, then the women will be compelled to marry or die. And don't say they won't do it. They already done it right here in America. Check it out. All right. So we understand that the Grecian Sphinx and the legend of Oedipus is deep, deep. Now, what are they protecting?
Symbolism. Are you paying attention to the symbolism?
There's a book, if you look up Boule, B-O-U-L-E, which is who we're talking about. If you look them up, you could use encyclopedia. There's the word Boule. A Boule existed in virtually every constitutional city-state. They were the advisors to the king, derived from an advisory body of nobles. That's from Encyclopedia Britannica. You could look them up in this encyclopedia. Which one is this one? This is one of them. There is another dialogue about Boule. Oh, this is the backside of it. Again, giving references to how they directed the finances, maintained the fleet, judged the fitness of the magistrate-elect, received foreign ambassadors. They were the people who carried out the orders of the king. Okay? So when they say this is a black male group called the Boule, as you see here, another Boule, a council that was a part of the government in most ancient Greek city-states. Initially, it consisted of counselors who advised the kings and were summoned as needed. Hey, look, the black thing with the kente cloth and the changing of goods from Africa to America is getting too strong. Send my civil rights all-stars over there and have that summit in Gabon so we can get some shit together and supplant this grassroots African thing going on now. So the civil rights all-stars were sent to Gabon, and with the head of Botswana, who is a sellout, the head of Ivory Coast, who's a sellout, and the head of some more of them countries, all with white corporations, Mobil, Chevron, Exxon, IBM, finance the receptions, paid for the dinners. I got the program in the tape. Africa 93, Colonialism is Back. It's even a video. You will see I have the actual program from the Summit of Gabon, and 3/4 of it is ads for major white corporations who shouldn't even have had the privilege of going to Africa. And then the Civil Rights All-Stars use Brother Farrakhan over in Africa where the womb is deep. But when they come back to that short little white woman butt in America, where the womb is a little shorter, they don't need the minister, so they don't let him on the march on Washington, because they believe they can touch the back on their own little thing. Check. The brother did deep on it. And the brother, and they tricked on the brother. The brother put them all in the final call, had Dorothy Height with Mrs. Farrakhan, had Coretta Scott King, Jesse Jackson ass. They was all in there. In the tape on black and Jewish relations, I say that was a mistake. And I stand by that. I love the brother enough to stand up and say that was a mistake. The Civil Rights All-Stars will never do what they're supposed to do. Unless you can make them. So, when they got back to America and they dropped the brother on the Jewish rabbi's word alone. Then the brother put him on the front page of the final call and they got the whining and shit. Ben Hooks got the whining. You seen him at the Black Caucus thing. Got the whine, and the brother said if you hadn't have done it, I wouldn't have had to do it.
That's right. That's right.
So, are there boule, scrubbed up black men that are advisors to the king that sell out melanin dominant consciousness? Be black, be proud, be conscious, be sensitive to who you are. Are we selling ourselves out by following under Skull and Bones and the boule, and are we just washed out Negroes? I'm just asking a question, and we will continue with Steve Coakley again next week. This has been the second hour. Next week will be the third hour. I've been your host, Brother Artie, and that's all I say.